Handcuffs and sage may not be appropriate for all listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody.
Hey. Welcome to Handcuffs and Sage.
With Red.
And this is Timo.
And this is Dre.
And it's kind of a sad day today, right?
Yeah, we're all sad.
It's a very sad day.
Yeah, it's very sad today. Kobe Bryant passed away along with his 13-year-old daughter.
Gianna.
In a helicopter crash here in Calabasas, California. It's probably about 25 minutes away from us here, where we live. And, it's basically Los Angeles has a broken heart today.
It's awful. Like, when I saw it on Facebook, I didn't know if it was real, right?
Right.
I told Scott, and he, of course, froze. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, let me see if this is real. Let me see. And then it did look like this was actually happening.
Absolutely, yeah.
And there was 9 people on board. And I guess it's been well known that he took helicopters for a long time to travel.
Yeah.
That was something that he always did. And there was a fire on board, which then caused the crash, and everyone died. It sounds like there was a baseball coach. His wife and daughter were also on board who passed away. So it's awful. I don't think we have a full list of everyone, of all 9 people.
Mm-mm.
It's absolutely terrible. And I was talking with some of my friends, just messaging, and all of our husbands seem to be having this reaction where, especially my husband, just even cried.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we all got so emotional at the house.
Yeah.
And it's different when you feel like you grow up with someone. I think he was 41.
Yes.
I am 41. Ricky wore Kobe
Oh,
jerseys as a baby.
Yeah.
He was number 8.
Right.
And he changed to 24. We bought him a 24 jersey. And you grow up with these celebrities and feeling a little bit like they are part of your family. They're in your home every week. So it's hard. It's hard for LA.
It is hard for it's hard for everybody. I guess it shook me too, because this is someone who you would think could pay for the best of the best. Right. And this thing happened, and because he died, it almost feels like, well, anything could happen to anyone, right? It just puts you in check. And I feel terrible for his wife. They
Oh my
been
gosh.
together since she was 17. They just had another baby, Capri, back in June.
Right.
So she's lost her husband and a daughter, and she's taking care of her kids.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It is horrible.
I saw something that really bothered me while I was searching to find out if it was real. And it was minutes after the news broke, somebody already from New York put out a GoFundMe. And it's I really hope...
What?
Yes. I hope that the public is smart enough to know that nobody in this Bryant family is going to be putting out a GoFundMe for help toward anything.
That's disgusting.
I think it's ridiculous.
That is disgusting.
And I hate people who are vultures like that. So,
Oh, that made my stomach turn.
it just was so disgusting. I reported it to GoFundMe.
Good.
Because I'm like, you're stupid and this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, good job.
The balls.
You saw something, you did something.
Yeah, just gross.
Can I say something on a lighter note?
Yeah.
That I'm kind of excited about.
Sure.
Kind of pull us.
Well, let's just say that our hearts go out to the Bryant family,
Yes.
and may they rest in peace. And it's just a lesson for us to learn as well that life is fragile, and we need to love our loved ones each and every day, because we don't know how much longer we're here. So
I know this sounds weird too, because I said, I kind of had a mother-daughter day. And this happened after we got the news that Kobe died. And I really was like, I just want to enjoy today thoroughly.
Right.
You don't know what's going to happen. And I did. We had the nicest time.
that's good.
Really
Yay.
Sometimes
I'm happy
you
for
think-
you guys. Yeah.
It was really, she's
You
a
guys-
teenager.
yeah.
It's not always like this,
Yeah.
right?
Right, yeah.
And so it was really nice. So I keep I'm going to pull myself together.
With that being said, let's talk about something lighter.
Okay.
So I thought it was kind of cool because I fell in love with my favorite murder, a couple years ago. Super fan. I've seen their shows. I've met them. I love them. They are my queens, right? True crime queens. And a lot of people feel this way. And we've been part of the My Favorite Murder Los Angeles group. And we just found a whole bunch that live here near us in SCV, and we're all planning a get together. And I thought that was great. Like, a common love, you know, something that we all are connected with. So I'm actually really excited to meet everybody. So here's a shout out to MFM Los Angeles SCV.
Yeah, that's so cool.
SCV Murderinos.
SCV Murderinos.
I'm new to the Murderino world. I really wasn't into the true crime. I was mostly into the paranormal. And then now I'm getting there. So now I'm a part of the group as well.
I guess you're cool. I guess we'll let you. It really is just, it's a feel good group, and I'm really excited to meet everybody.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yay! So that's something on the lighter note. I'm still trying not to cry over here. I'm rough. Anything good happened this week? Let's talk about good things.
Not really.
My daughter got nominated.
Yes, okay.
Yay. Yeah. My daughter's
Red just has all the good shit going on.
She's senior princess, and hopefully she gets voted to be queen, and I think this is great. It's happening her senior year.
So this is the winter formal, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
okay.
Formal, and
I always loved winter formal the most.
I did too.
Yeah,
it's the best because they actually dress nicely.
Yeah,
yes, I love formal. So I'm very happy for her. I think she really needed it. So that was a good thing this week. And my son got some invitation to go to like a gaming school, like a programming thing. So we started that conversation, you know, what he might be able to do after high school. We worry about that constantly for him. Also, like making sure he stays social, like having some kind of social interaction. So that was kind of like, okay, there's something
I actually
do
have something now talking about that. My oldest, my 16-year-old son started his fire science class.
Yes.
He wants to be a firefighter when he grows up, and he's just tall, dark, and handsome, and he's just going to be one of those hot firefighters when he grows up. So high school...
Are you going to be one of those hot firefighters?
So our high school offers like a ROP program, and it's called Exploring Fire Science Careers.
Yes.
So he had to wear his white t-shirt. He had to wear
cute.
this. He used a whole bunch of gel and slicked his hair back because he said that you had to have a nice hairstyle. And
that's really cute.
So he's and I go, why don't you wear your hair like that every day? You look so cute. And he's like, because I run every day, and the gel
it gets in their eyes.
It's like sweaty, and he's like, I can't do that.
Yeah. I've heard that. Like
but the thing that was funny is he met a kid who's on the varsity cross country team at Golden Valley, and he's on the varsity cross country team as well at his school. And they did a mile run, and the firefighter teachers, they're like, dude, you guys are out there like gazelles. What's going on? And they
run like a gazelle,
right? And they totally, when they met, they totally said, let's take it easy. So they didn't even do their best because they didn't want to like show up.
And they still they
did like 5.26 and 5.
Oh, that's
and that's slow. That's slow for them.
Imagine moving at that pace.
And he says it was just so funny seeing how everybody else was like huffing and puffing. He's like, it was a mile. He had run like 7 that morning. Up in the hills. Yeah, it was so funny.
He's just laughing the whole time he's running.
He's like, in a couple weeks, we're going to do like 2 miles. And he's just like,
that's really cute.
Eventually, I'll just be like, but he's like, all the other stuff, like the football guys were good, like with the pull-ups and the push-ups and stuff.
Right.
And
they're all different.
Yeah, they were a little bit rough on that. But it looks like he's gonna do it. It looks like he's enjoying it, and that he's gonna...
It's gotta make your mom happy.
At least I know one kid is like has his set goal, because I didn't have my goal set at all. I was like, fuck school, fuck this, fuck that. I don't even know what I'm doing.
How'd that work out?
Well, I went to beauty school right out of high school, and I never did it for a living.
Oh, can you do her hair? Can you dye her hair?
Yes. Right? Done.
That's what I do. I do the roundos here and there where, you know, if someone's like, oh, can you do my hair? Can you do my hair? So, and then I, of course, do my own hair. But, yeah. And then I went back to college to become a teacher. And then that didn't happen because I got knocked up. And then I got knocked up again.
God,
back to back.
whore.
Yeah, I'm such a prostitution whore.
That's what I say all the time. She's
And-
a prostitution whore.
And so that's that. Now I'm in the accounting world.
That sounds amazing.
Yes. So amazing.
Dre, tell us
love
something
it.
good. Give us something good.
My baby boy just turned 1.
Yay!
Yay! So cute. He's such
so
a cute little one.
He's running around. He has 5 teeth. He is a little shithead sometimes. Yes.
Perfect in every way.
He does baby-led weaning. So I give him like cut up strawberries and like all kinds of just like little finger foods, right? On the table. So when he's done, he is done.
Mm-hmm.
He grabs that strawberry and he looks me dead in the eye and he goes, boom, and he drops it on the floor. And I'm like, no. And then he looks at me dead in the eye and he grabs the strawberry from the table and he reaches his arm down and he's like,
you're kidding.
Toss on the floor.
My youngest did that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
He
I'm
would
like,
do that.
no,
Yeah.
don't do that. And he's just so cute. And then I'll say no and he's like,
You're like, all right, you can do it all you want,
I'm like,
kid.
whatever, you're cute.
You're pretty freaking cute.
I think I must sweep and mop like 10 times a day. Yeah, it's awesome.
I bow down,
Just
girl.
kidding. It's not.
Just kidding. It's awful.
It's awful. Yeah. But yeah, nothing more to... I mean, Ricky's starting... he's doing his 30 online hours for driver's ed, so I'm a little nervous because he's a little fireball sometimes too. But
he's going to be just fine.
Oh, he scares me. He just scares me.
Yep, mine's doing that too. So
He's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But I think there's more important things in their school careers right now than driving. I know they want to drive so bad, but they don't really need to.
Oh, he does.
And
he's doing
Ricky
his driver's
has to.
online.
Yeah, Ricky
Yeah.
I
needs
need
to.
him to drive himself
Yeah,
to
just
school.
Wednesday he got forgotten.
Yeah.
And,
That sucks.
and I'm like,
if I had a car,
what
I
do
would have
do? You know?
gotten him. But
Yeah,
I
I
didn't.
know.
I didn't.
But I'm just like, okay, can I get an Uber? Can I bug someone else? Like, you know, Cynthia lives right up the street.
Right.
Like, who wants to take a second trip all the way? And we live, like, at the farthest northeast end of Canyon Country. So it's like a 15, 20-minute drive to school. So
Yikes.
it just that wasn't a good thing. But
He
it was
needs to
hilarious
drive.
because apparently his friend said, oh, Dad, I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you. We were supposed to pick Ricky up from school today. So his dad's dropping off his son.
No.
And goes, aw, man, we forgot Ricky. So he drives all the way back home, probably instead of going to work. And doesn't say anything to me, but he just went back and Ricky's getting a text from him. I'm outside at like 9:50 when school starts at 9:30. And Ricky's like, Mom, he's here. I'm like, okay, get in the car.
Yeah,
So I was
thank
like,
goodness.
Uber doesn't pick up minors, you know? But then again, Ricky's like 5'10", and he could probably pass for an adult. But...
Lyft does, though.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, do Lyft.
All right.
Lyft will.
Okay.
Good to know.
And it's funny because Lyft and Uber are like the same people.
But Lyft will. So
Lyft is down, okay?
Yeah. All right, I'm going to remember that.
Lyft is down.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had some good things.
Okay, good.
I feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
I stopped crying.
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
That's great because I might make you cry with my story.
All right.
Do I need tissues?
No, but
Please don't make me cry. I don't want to cry.
okay, then I might scare the fucking shit out of you instead.
Okay,
Woo!
fine. I'll
Okay.
take that.
All right.
I'll take that.
All right,
Like
so
it, I
are we
like
ready?
it a lot.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Buckle up, bitches. Here it comes.
I'm going to pour some more wine so I can get my palate wet over here.
You're going to get your palate
Did
wet?
you bring
Yep.
this?
I did.
Nice
It was
and chilled?
half empty.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Some might say half full.
Full. Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
half empty kind of girl.
I
So my
know,
wine is
honey.
half empty. Okay?
Mine is half full.
Okay. Those who hear the 3 bells toll accept his invitation. When you hear the first, you must close your eyes, keeping words unspoken. If one wants to hear you, you must listen closely, for they are soft and distant. With eyes still closed and mind wide open, clear your thoughts and await the second. Opening your eyes only once, you've heard the third. So I just summoned Slender Man.
You whore! You prostitution
We should
whore!
like
Oh! Shit.
Ooh, okay.
All right, that's it. I'm all done.
All right.
Why would you do that? Why did you do
It's all right. Just listen.
I'm already crying and I'm scared shitless. Yeah,
it'll be okay.
2-in-1, bitch.
It'll be okay. Do you know who Slender Man is?
Yes, I've heard of Slender Man.
Okay, of course you do, because you're true crime.
I know. Yes.
Okay. So who or what is Slender Man?
Give it to me, girl.
Okay. So he's a supernatural creature. He's a man, of course. He looks human, but he's like 8 feet tall. He's very skinny. He's faceless. Just a blank white nothingness.
Isn't that spooky as shit?
Yeah, it's almost like his face is wrapped in gauze. He's seen in a black suit and tie. And he has long, unnaturally long tentacle-like arms that he can extend outward. He also has long, skinny fingers, which have tendrils. He's a stalker. He's a hunter. He stands, waits, and watches. And his face can mimic your greatest fears.
Ew. You know what?
God.
I'm going to say it. I'm not a fan. Not a fan of Slender Man.
All right.
It'd be like Slender Man with a clown face. That's my greatest fear.
Yeah.
Don't sign me up for that clown.
All right. So he appears in the woods, abandoned buildings, and abandoned playgrounds. He has the ability to teleport. He appears to float or drift rather than walk. You know he's near because you can get slender sickness, which is the rapid onset of paranoia, nightmares, hallucinations, which are all accompanied by a nosebleed.
I thought of slender sickness. I'm like, if I had to be sick to be slender, I would so fucking do it. Sign me up for the sickness.
No, you don't want this.
No.
Okay. Some stories say that he kills, but others say that he absorbs you and takes you to an undisclosed location or dimension. And he likes children and teenagers, and that's why he hangs out near these playgrounds. Now, with teenagers, he likes to fuck with their heads, so he makes them go insane or even kill themselves.
Oh.
And he follows them down dark, lonely streets at times. So, what does Slender Man do to his prey? He mostly preys on preteens, beckons them into the woods, and invites them to be his proxies.
Okay.
So what's a proxy?
I don't know.
A proxy are those who serve Slenderman. Proxies are entities or people who are under the control of Slenderman. And they do what he wants. They do what he needs.
You know what? We do what we want.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
fuck you,
right.
Slenderman. We do what we want. I ain't your proxy. I won't be your proxy.
Okay.
That's what people should say.
That's right. So they do his physical work for him. So basically they're his slaves.
This is a nightmare.
And some of them really don't know that they are his proxies.
Oh.
So there's ranks of proxies. Yes, this is going to get intense, okay?
Oh my God.
So the first rank is the Hollowed. The Hollowed are mindless puppets created by Slenderman to harass runners for no other purpose. Now, I tried to look and see what actual runners meant in the Slenderman world, and it was very, very unclear. So I'm not exactly sure what runners are, but the Hollowed are just kind of like zombie-like proxies.
Oh, man. Okay.
Then there's the Berserkers.
The what?
Berserkers?
Berserkers. Okay, Berserkers.
I think I probably fall into this category,
The
whatever it
Berserkers.
means. Yeah.
Okay, so they are proxies that still have a little bit of their own will left so that they could solve problems, but they are still slaves of Slenderman.
So like half zombies.
Right.
Okay.
Then there are Sleepers. Sleepers, they have their personalities are intact still, and they're totally unaware that they are proxies. So then there are agents.
See that one coming.
There's what?
Agents. The agents are not proxies, but they're cultists. So these are the people that just follow Slenderman, but they have nothing to do with his bidding.
Okay.
And then there's the Revenants. The Revenants are proxies with super strength and regenerative abilities.
Okay.
Now, this is where everybody wants to get when they want to become a proxy.
That's
they
a
want
top
to have,
dog
right.
position.
So this is what makes all these little preteen kids decide that they want to be a part of Slenderman's group, okay? Because they want to have these abilities to do these things. Okay,
They want to be cool.
I mean, they could work out,
right?
Maybe get a gym membership or something.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's
kids.
Yeah, it's kids. Yeah. So, what happens to the proxies that have either failed or basically not needed anymore? Well, they're taken care of. And because they want to prevent them from being a problem in the future.
They're like put in a home with a meal plan? Or?
Yeah, or just buried somewhere out in the woods.
Oh, God.
Okay, so here we go. How do you become a proxy?
You make bad life choices like I have?
Number one,
okay.
yes.
Yes.
It has to be midnight. It has to be a new moon, and you go into the woods.
Okay, so write this down.
Midnight, new moon, woods.
Got it. Not gonna do it.
Make sure to avoid.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always find myself in the woods during the
I don't even know where
though.
fucking woods are around. Oh, I guess you go Bouquet, right? You can go Bouquet.
Yeah, up San Francisco.
I don't even know where woods are.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we don't have fucking woods around here. Okay, so you cannot bring a camera or any recording device, just a flashlight. You can bring your phone, but only for use of the flashlight. You can't use it for any other incidences. Okay. As you walk into the forest, you keep your eyes to the ground, because if you look up and see him, he'll take you. So you don't want to look in any other direction but down, so where you cannot see him
You could
anywhere.
totally walk into a tree.
Well, you can walk along a path. And
This
make
sounds
sure.
unsafe.
Yeah. No, it's fine. You have a flashlight. You're okay. Once he is around you, your flashlight will start to flicker, or your cell phone screen will have static playing, and you will get the slender sickness.
But you won't be thin.
You won't be thin.
You will just be sick.
Right.
Okay.
Stop. Once this happens,
Stop.
stop.
Hammer time.
Stop. Hammer time.
Close. Keep your eyes closed. Do not open them no matter what. No matter what you hear. No matter what you feel. No matter what.
Can you imagine he plays fucking tricks on you and like I'm closing my eyes and I can hear Jonathan crying, Ma.
Oh, Jesus.
Like I would have to open my eyes.
Yeah, because, of course.
That's the messed up part. Fuck you, Slender Man.
Yeah, fuck you, Slender
Okay,
Man.
buckle up. Here
I
you
do
go.
what I want.
Here you go.
Okay.
I'm gonna open my eyes.
You will suddenly hear Slender Man's voice in your mind. He will ask you questions. Answer honestly. Truth is the way. He may touch you. He may put his hands on your shoulders. You may feel his tendrils wrap around your arms,
Okay,
legs.
that's the worst. Tendrils?
Tendrils.
Tendrils?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ugh.
Like
So they may wrap around your arms, your legs, or your neck. He's examining you because he's really picky when it comes to choosing a proxy. So he's getting all up in your business to check you out.
I hope not.
Assault. Okay, this is assault in the woods.
Right.
With no
with his tendrils.
Right. So if you get the part, he will mark you.
With what? Like a small cute tattoo? Like a butterfly maybe?
Yes.
A little cutie mark on your
Maybe
cheek.
cute mark on your cheek?
Whatever it does, it fucking hurts. It feels like razor blades
Razor
cutting into your skin.
Like a tattoo would?
on your
Yes.
On your butt?
Where?
That's what he's doing. He's marking you, and it'll bleed, it will heal, and it will become a black scar in the shape of the operator symbol. And what that is, it's just like a roughly round circle and then an X straight through it.
And then that's on your body forever?
Yes. It's just like a tattoo, and it means you've been chosen.
So like if you ever see someone with this, run.
Yeah, well, I
No second take for you, honey. I
because
saw
I
your
wanted
tattoo.
to see the symbol, right?
Yeah.
So, and I looked under Google and I looked under images. Friggin' tattoos galore. People have these tattoos everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Creepers, man.
All over the place.
It's like people aren't afraid. They're asking for it.
They're
And
asking
when you
for
end
it.
up dead, fool. Guess
Yeah,
what?
that's right.
You asked for it.
Oh, I'm not a fan of this at all.
Okay, so the final step. You'll immediately pass out. Your body just can't handle the slender sickness anymore. So you'll pass out, and then you'll actually wake up in your very own bed.
Oh.
Yeah. You'll remember everything, though. You'll still have the mark, and you'll remember everything. What do you need to do at this point? You need to pack. You need to pack an extra set of clothes. You need to pack water, food, and some type of weapon. No electronics. You'll no longer have contact with your past life. Then that night, you'll be summoned by Slender Man, and once you leave your home, you are now his proxy.
So, I just want to make
Okay.
This.
Okay.
Right. People are choosing to do this.
Yes, they are.
And then they wake up in their bed and they're like, time to go. Mm-hmm. And they start packing. Mm-hmm. They grab their passport or some shit. And they're ready to just do whatever the fuck.
Is it because they're under his mind control? Oh, okay.
But what about brain control?
Same thing.
Okay.
So, that's the end of that. Okay. So, in May of 2014, two totally messed up 12-year-olds from Waukesha, Wisconsin, wanted to be his proxy so bad that they took their friend out into the woods to kill her. They stabbed her 19 times and she survived. Wow. Did they become proxies? Nope. One got 40 years in a mental institution and the other got 25 years in a mental institution.
Seriously.
This is all that I'm going to do on that story because I think you might want to cover this.
Yeah, I know that story.
Yeah, it's called the Slender Man stabbings. Oh, so crazy.
It is crazy.
So crazy. So I
didn't know they got
so I saw the documentary on this on the situation. And
do you remember what it was called?
Beware the Slender Man, I think.
Okay.
And dude, they just they show the interrogation. I guess in Wisconsin, I guess you're allowed to interrogate a minor without their parents in the room with them.
You know what I always tell my kids? You don't say anything.
Right, no, but this is a law.
I want my lawyer, I want my parents, and that's it.
So they show the two different investigators going back and forth from, the one girl to the other, and the one that just was like, the one that they ended up diagnosing her with schizophrenia, early onset schizophrenia. And like when she's alone, like they leave and the cameras start rolling and she's just doing, like she's talking to somebody in there and she's just...
Oh, that's so sad.
And so they basically incriminated themselves because they're 12-year-old and they don't really know what the fuck they're talking about, and they just kind of spill the beans. But it's very sad. It's a very sad documentary. They end up getting help, but it was years and years after this that one was getting her medicine that she needed to get. And yeah, it's just, and the judge decided to give her the 40 years because she was the one that actually stabbed her, And, he felt sorry for her too and understood that it was a mental illness, but still, there was the whole Slender Man and people were saying, oh, they're just using it as an excuse. And I would really love you to do that story one day because
I will.
It's
no
like,
problem.
It's craziness and it's scary how schizophrenia works, and you don't see it happening in a 12-year-old. You see it happening in a 25-year-old. So it's really, really scary.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so if you end up searching for the origins of Slender Man, you'll be bombarded with many, many tales ranging from Germany's Black Forest to ancient Egypt. Earliest reference was of cave paintings in Brazil. It's in the Ser da Capivara National Park, and they date back to 9000 BC. And it shows a strange, elongated character holding hands with a child. And this is 9,000 years before Christ.
Could it just be aliens?
That is fucking bananas.
I say aliens.
Yeah. Okay. I do too.
Okay.
So then the next one is in 3100 BC in Egypt, and it was during the Thief of the Gods, or the Thief of Kuk, during the reign of Pharaoh.
The Thief of Kuk.
I love when you do that.
During the reign of Pharaoh Wazner. That's how it's spelled. Wazner. Does not sound Egyptian to me, but whatever. And there were hieroglyphic carvings found in the thief's tomb that resembled a strange figure with multiple upper limbs.
Multiple. Okay.
Like an octopus?
Yeah. And then there's a German woodcutter, Hans Freckenberg, and he carved woodcuts in 1883 that resembled a skeletal, multi-limbed character, and it's called the Der Groban.
The what?
Der Grobmann, which translates to the tall man. And legend is that he was a fairy that had lived in the Black Forest, and bad children that snuck out at night would be chased into the forest until he caught them, or he would tell their parents of what they were doing.
This sounds like Krampus, okay?
I know, it really does, right?
He's double teaming all kinds of shit.
For sure,
He's like,
sure.
He's so
Christmas
busy.
Time.
What else can I do to fuck with kids?
Der Grobmann.
And Krampus was a shapeshifter too, so I fully believe this.
Was he?
Didn't you say?
No.
No. Okay, I'm imagining things.
We're just making shit up as we go.
I don't know.
I thought he was.
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm gonna look this up. Okay.
I don't think so.
She knows better than I do.
Okay. So then there's Romanian mythology, and they have a fairy tale, and they call him the tall man as well. Mm-hmm. And this one's a real fucked up one. Okay, so he causes a mother to kill her husband and child. Then he comes down the fireplace burning, grabs her, and embraces her in a fiery hug.
What?
And takes him with her.
A fiery hug?
Yeah.
Oh, don't sign me up for a fiery hug.
I don't know what that's about, but that's some fucked up shit. And then finally, in English mythology, there's the tree man. He's a tall figure with tree-like limbs as arms, and he's seen in the woods and used as a story that parents tell their children to behave. And there are many, many child disappearances that are linked to the tree man. So,
Tree man. Fighter of the tree man.
Okay, so what do you think so far? Are you guys scared?
No, I think they're aliens.
Okay, but
I'm still scared.
Him, so are you scared?
I'm always scared.
Okay. Well, I'm about to tell you.
But I feel like he doesn't do anything with adults.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
fuck teenagers. I spend a lot of time around teenagers. You do whatever you want. I don't give a fuck.
All right. Well, I'm about to tell you the truth about Slender Man now.
Is he actually fat? Is he actually fat, man?
He's not real.
Yeah, I know.
So.
Oh my God! What are you saying?
All this time.
Are you saying he's not real?
Right. So I didn't really summon him.
There's no way.
Yeah. So listen.
Let's not ever summon Bloody Mary, though, okay?
Okay.
Oh, shit. I used to do that with my friend Anna in elementary school all the time. And we, would lose our shit.
Yes.
Oh, we should do that.
We have to do that, and we have to do, when my girlfriends on Facebook said, you guys got to do that, and you guys got to do light as a feather, stiff as a board.
That's great.
I've never done that one.
I've never done that one either.
It doesn't work.
Yeah,
it works.
It works?
It works.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're so fucking
But
weird.
we need more than the three of us. We need more people. Yeah.
I need a lot of people to lift me.
You'd be surprised.
Not light as a feather.
How does that work? That's so
This is
scary.
crazy. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Slender Man was born on June 8th, 2009. He blew up, not grew up, but he blew up, and he became an internet legend. Okay. Mm-hmm. So there was this challenge on this post, and it's a site called Something Awful.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
That's great.
Something Awful. It's actually a comedy website that covers bad movies, games, articles, anything pop culture. Okay. They kind of just rag on stuff. Mm-hmm. So they put this challenge out, and they said they wanted to for you to take a regular picture and make it scary by adding real-looking ghosts, monsters, creatures, anything that you wanted.
Okay.
So Eric Knudsen, a.k.a. Victor Surge, which is his online name, took on the challenge, and oh boy, did he. Okay?
Okay.
So he was inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, Stephen King, and William S. Burroughs, who's a host of Folklore Creatures. He took some old black and white photos of kids playing in a playground, and he photoshopped in a tall, creepy figure in the background with these tentacle-like arms coming out of his back. Mm-hmm. And then he ddid a whole fucking story that went along with it. And
Eric's a little overachiever.
Yes,
He wanted an A++ on this project.
Sure did.
Right. So
I've seen that picture.
Right.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. It's really creepy.
Mm-hmm.
So he captioned one of the photos, 1983 photographer unknown, presumed dead. And below that, he said, this is a quote that came, because I guess he said that there were like 14 missing children on this day that this picture was taken. And then one of them that did not disappear had said, we didn't want to go. We didn't want to kill them. But its persistent silence and outstretched arms horrified and comforted us at the same time.
Yeah.
So, and then he even
Very creative, Eric.
This guy,
Very creative.
He even went on to get like doctor's notes that said that these children were missing, and then there was some mysterious fire in a library where the photos disappeared, and like this whole thing blew up, right?
Actually, Eric's scary.
He is scary. Like, you gotta be some kind of weirdo to come up with this stuff. Yeah. But I like him. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be friends, Eric.
Yeah.
So from there, YouTube were like blowing up with different videos, posts about sightings. Multiple websites posted up with thousands and thousands of visitors saying that they had all seen Slender Man. Video games came out, and that was the birth of digital or internet folklore. Okay, so let me tell you what that means. So Trevor Blank, quote unquote, said that digital folklore is the outward expression of creativity in myriad forms and interactions by individuals and their communities. So myriad just basically means many, many, countless, numbers. So internet folklore is circulating on the internet. Digital folklore is just folklore, but it has huge availability because it's on the World Wide Web.
Right.
So basically what chain letters used to be to us back in the day are now emails, and you could reach multiple people. Instead of like 10, you can reach tens of thousands of people. They're legends and beliefs, crazy stories, but they can all be debunked. And we have something called Snopes.com now, where you can look up any type of story that comes out. They'll tell you, this is not real, or this could be real. And some folklore emerges only on the internet, such as the Slender Man. So that's how he became popular. So, where have we seen Slender Man on TV or on film?
Right.
Okay.
He's been on film,
So let's go back to Buffy the Vampire Slayer, one of my favorite shows in the whole time world.
I watched that with my sister Kristen all the time.
I loved it so much.
I want to start over. I want to watch from day one.
Sure.
Ooh, so good, so good.
So there was an episode. It was called Hush, and it was these floating gentlemen. They were like in suits, and they were bald, and they had white faces. They actually had faces though, but they like floated and drifted.
That. Okay.
And it was just one of my favorite episodes, and they were like supposedly like demons that like kidnapped you or whatever. So they were totally scary. And then there's a superhero from DC Comics. He's called The Question, and he has a blank face.
Oh yes.
And his true identity is Victor Sage.
Really?
Yes.
He's a sager?
You like it.
But
not a handcuffer, he's a sager.
the guy that created Slender Man's name is Victor Surge.
Interesting.
Isn't that weird? And then in 2008, Slender Man, the movie, came out, and I watched it.
You did?
I did, and I loved it. But it was very controversial because, like, the family of the girl that was stabbed, they were pissed off. They didn't want Sony banking on that.
Sure.
And then just a lot of people were, but it wasn't about the crime case. It was just like a bunch of teenagers, set of girls, set of boys. The girls decide they're going to summon Slender Man, and he actually comes and fucking does all kinds of shit. It was great. It was a great movie. Great. I totally recommend you watching it. And then on October 24th, 2019, so just this past, Peyton Lautner, who is now 17, who was the girl that was stabbed, finally was interviewed on ABC News. So there you can see that as well. Crazy. She's all rounded. She's all good.
Oh, she's been through so much.
Yeah. So then in other Slender Man news, this is just some kind of little fun facts that happened with through the years. In a small town in Oregon, a man dressed up like Slender Man, and he walked around town freaking people out. Would just stare at them and do all kinds of freaky shit. A 13-year-old girl in Ohio, believed to be obsessed with Slender Man, attacked her mom with a knife.
Oh my God.
And stabbed her in the face, neck, and back. And then a 14-year-old girl in the same year in Florida set her house on fire after reading about Slender Man, and her mom and 9-year-old brother were in the house.
I remember this.
She just threw bleach and rum on a sheet and set it on fire.
Imagine bleach and rum.
Yeah.
Honey, those don't go together.
She's a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and I'm going to light it up.
Right.
Yeah.
And then The Sun is a tabloid, and they just had a piece come out called "The Real Slender Man Spotted" after a man disappeared in the forest. And then there is a reservation. It's called the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. There was a period of time where there was a mass suicide attempts between teenagers 12 to 24 years of age. And the elders, I guess, stated that the suicide spirit resembles Slender Man, so they didn't know really what was going on with that. But yes, and then I drew this little picture here to show you this
symbol you
drew. This is what the symbol of the this is what people are getting tattooed on them.
You know what's funny is like knowing that it's not real and all these idiots have this
I know, right?
You morons, you always be morons.
So I really wanted to do this story because I thought it was really cool. I knew it was fake all along. But still, you have to think back to these old cave drawings and whatever, and you're like, they're aliens, and I totally agree with that.
Sure, absolutely.
That's
been going on forever. People
right.
talking about the cave drawings, and they
Yeah.
do look like aliens.
They do.
Yeah.
What I assume aliens.
But dude, what this guy created out of this random little challenge thing, and a cool part, what I found out too, I listened to, and that's why we drank, and Christine did the whole true crime section of Slender Man, and she said that Victor Surge, aka
Victor Sage,
yes, he did the screenplay for the Slender Man movie. Yeah, I think that's kind of cool.
I was just gonna say, the guy that created this, he needs to be collecting like royalties, right? He needs to be like making money off of this, his intellectual property.
Right.
Right?
He did it. He started it, right?
So that whole thing about the proxies and how to become proxies, that's, you can find that on the internet, on like Wiki Fandom and all that stuff. So it goes back to like anime, and it goes back to the video games and stuff like that. So
that's pretty cool.
But I thought that was kind of fun to like say, hey, you know,
good time.
Yeah, so there you go. There's Slender Man.
Slender Man.
Yeah.
Freaky ass shit. Okay,
Red, you got some true crime shit for us?
All right, buckle up.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true crime time. So I was actually really super excited about this story, and I had completely forgotten about it. But me and the hubs, we hit up Forensic Files every night. Okay. And it popped up, and it reminded me. I had heard this story so long ago, and I was like,
excited.
Don't be so high that you don't remember this tomorrow. Like, try to remember this. I am so excited to do this story.
You know, so your version of Forensic Files is my version of Paranormal Caught on Camera.
Yeah.
And I have that experience as well. I'm watching, I'm like, oh, I can do that story. And I can do this story.
Everything about it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So I'm really excited. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to do the story of John List.
I don't know.
I haven't heard it.
Now it's awkward.
Either.
Now it's awkward as shit.
John List. This is going to be great.
Okay.
I love it.
It's going to be great. Okay. So I love this story because there's so many ins and outs and what have you. So I listened to a podcast, Once Upon a Crime, and they did a really great job.
Okay.
Good job. I do listen to a lot of podcasts when I'm looking into stories, and sometimes it's not good.
Right.
Sometimes I'm taken aback. This one, great job. Once Upon a Crime.
I've never listened to, I've heard of them, but I've never listened to them before. So.
Yeah. We're like frenzies on,
good.
on the IG.
Oh.
Yeah. There you go. Did a great job. Then Forensic Files did it, and, you know, you can find the story kind of anywhere. I'm surprised you guys don't. Okay.
Well, not me. Dre's right with you with the true crime stuff.
I'm more new. Like, I love true crime, but I didn't get into podcasts and stuff.
Sure.
Until I met you.
Yeah, that's true.
So now I'm like all about it, but I was away for a year, so I wasn't in the car, and now that I'm in the car, I'm ooh, put it on.
Yeah.
You know?
It would always crack me up because she'd be like, oh, I found this podcast. Have you heard? I'm like, girl.
She did the same shit to me. I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah.
I listen to every podcast
Have you heard
all the
Chasing
time.
Cosby yet?
Yes.
Man. Oh, I love it.
I always look for that new episode to pop up. Yeah. Because it's just incredible. They do a really good job.
Yeah.
Telling the whole story.
So it's all Cosby. It's like his whole story.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, everything he's done.
I don't really think I care to listen to that.
It's
very insightful. Like, really what he
really
did
good.
And, like, the grooming process.
You wouldn't even guess.
I don't think I'd like to.
I mean, see, that's the thing. Is like, it is disgusting what he did. It's disgusting. But
absolutely. And he was such a predator.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it over and over and over again. While everyone thought, he's
America's dad.
America's dad. Such a beloved man.
Oh, I remember watching.
And now he's just an old, gross man, and he's ill. You know what I mean?
He's a total piece of shit.
Like what? Like,
and he comes to court like acting all sad,
and then Weinstein walking with a walker to court. Like, what the fuck's that shit?
They are both doing the same thing. Like, feel bad for me in court.
Yeah. And I'm like, have a heart attack right now.
Yeah, I hope you
just have a heart attack.
Die. Anyway. Let's get back to John List.
Okay, yeah.
John List. Okay, we got sidetracked.
Yes.
We never do that.
I'm like, wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, I love it.
Red's telling us a story.
I'm going to tell you a little story. Mr. List. Okay, so let's go back in time to December 7th, 1971. A welfare check is happening at this big, beautiful house called Breeze Knoll. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh. This house has 19 rooms, a ballroom, and on the third floor, it's like its own apartment with its own kitchen. This is like...
On the third floor.
Uh-huh.
Third floor.
Not on the fourth or the fifth. Third. It was on the third. So, not super fancy, but kind of fancy.
But who needs a ballroom in the 70s?
I want one. I don't care if I need it.
Okay.
I feel like I need a ballroom.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
I've been living without one, and it's been awful.
Yes. I think we could all use a ballroom.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Just one of us needs one.
Right.
Because we'll all share.
Yeah.
I might share my ballroom.
If we had a 19-bedroom house, we could share the house.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sharing's
we could
caring.
all live together.
Imagine. Stay in the whistling, bitch.
Fuck is making breakfast because I'm hungry. There's been no word for weeks at this home. It's been silent except for the lights that people can see constantly on in the house.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to live in this house. I changed my mind.
A teacher has called the Lutheran pastor for the community and said, I really think something has happened in this house. We need to look into it. And then when the pastor got to the home, they realized not all was well with the List family.
All right. So the pastor went and did the well check, not the police?
The police end up doing this well check. So we'll circle back to that.
All right.
Okay.
Jesus.
Okay.
This is 1971?
This 18. December 7th, 1971.
Oh, so this is like in our...
Mm-hmm.
Well, not any of us yet.
No, but I'm saying like we know people that were alive at this time.
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. So Patricia List was in high school. She was very popular. She was part of the theater program, and she had been studying to be in the next play, Streetcar Called Desire.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's a New Orleans play.
Yes. Mm-hmm. The school had gotten word that Patricia and the whole family had left because her her grandmother was sick, and for some reason the whole family had to go and help the mother in her sickness. Mm-hmm. And the drama teacher, who was very close with Patricia, tried to check out the house, and he thought to himself, Patricia's been gone for weeks. Nobody's heard from the family. Something doesn't feel right. I don't want to get in trouble, but I want to make as much noise as possible. Mm-hmm. So police are called to then get in the house.
Okay.
Really smart.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he pulls up to the house and he's like slamming doors and trying to like go through windows.
Ooh. Okay.
And he's just being really loud and it works.
Okay. Good.
So the Westfield police came to check out the home. Somebody's breaking in.
Okay.
Really smart.
Yeah.
I thought that was smart. Okay. The police showed up. They said everything was locked up tight. Nothing seemed out of place. But they did see that the basement window was ajar. And they thought, okay, we can probably use that and go inside.
Mm-hmm.
So when they got into the house, they said there was like a real musty, gross smell. But then they saw there was like an aquarium in the basement with some dead fish in it. And they thought, okay, well, maybe that's where that musty smell is coming from. And then, how creepy is this shit? They could hear classical music playing.
Oh no!
See, this is like
no.
Mm-mm. I bet you it's haunted.
Oh no!
Oh, I'm fucking sure. We should look into that. I didn't look into that shit.
You should look into that.
I will.
You guys are like trading stories.
That's right.
The walls have like absorbed that music, and I bet you that music just plays all the time.
I just got the chills all the way up my back and my neck.
Yes. They said it was very eerie. Yeah, no shit.
Mm-hmm.
No shit. You go into this home and you hear this classical music playing. There's a musty smell. They go upstairs and they don't see anything out of place. So there's 2 huge staircases going up in opposite directions and it goes up and they see like in this huge hall, a dark curtain has been put up. They go through the dark curtain to the grand ballroom.
Oh shit!
I don't want a ballroom. I changed my mind.
I still want a ballroom. They turn the lights on. It's the only room with the lights not on. And there are 3 bodies on top of the sleeping bags right next to each other. And then a 4th body like on top at the heads of the 3 bodies, all on sleeping bags, but then covered with towels. And immediately, one of the neighbors who had like come when they saw the police realized, look, these are bodies that have been here for a long time. And he just so happened to be a specialist in internal medicine, so he was able to say, this has been here for a while. This is not a new thing. So he's actually the neighbor ID'd them. It was Helen List, 45 years old, Patricia List, 16 years old, John List, I guess it would be junior, 15 years old, and Frederick List, 13 years old. So they find these bodies and they're still going through the house. This is a massive house. Okay, so they go upstairs to the 2nd floor. Nothing. Find nothing. They get to the 3rd floor and they find Alma's body in the hall. Alma is John List's mother. She is not on a sleeping bag. She's on like a plastic piece. And it was obvious also that she had been there for quite some time. You know who they didn't find in the house?
John Sr.
John List, not there. And all of the pictures of John in the home, pictures of him have been cut out from all family photos.
What?
So you don't know what he looks like.
What a piece of shit. Well, he's so smart.
Oh my God.
So they found a note that John left. It's saying that he didn't earn enough money to support his family. He's making a list here of reasons why he did this. He felt like if he filed for bankruptcy, his family just wouldn't be able to deal with that kind of life. He was concerned because his daughter, Pat, was getting into acting, and he felt like that was like the devil's work and that she would pull away from their Lutheran upbringing. His wife, Helen, had been falling away from the church. He wanted to make sure that his family was going to go to heaven, and he didn't feel like if he let this go on, that was going to happen. So might as well stop now. They'll all get at heaven if I kill them.
Oh, God. Twisted. Ugh.
Mm-hmm. And in this letter, he said he felt like the deaths of the family would be a shock to his mother, so she should just die too.
Let me do you a favor.
Fucking crazy. Yeah. You don't want to deal with this. Here's an idea. Don't kill your family. She doesn't have to deal with it. Crazy. He blamed God in his letter. He said that God didn't answer my prayers and make things better, and that's why I have to do this. Really, really sick. That letter was signed on November 9th. The bodies were found December 7th.
Wow.
So a whole month that he's just been gone. Crazy. So John List was born in Michigan in 1925 to parents John and Alma. His father was 64 years old when he was born, 26 years older than his mother.
Yeah.
It's kind of a difference.
Yeah.
That's a little...
It's a small difference. What do you talk about with that kind of age difference?
I don't know.
Yikes.
His first wife had died of cancer, and his oldest son was the same age as Alma when they got married.
That's really gross.
Yeah.
That is correct. Alma was the wife's nurse taking care of her when she had the cancer.
That's easy.
They were very, very religious, Lutheran, very strict. His father was not affectionate with John. I'm wondering if that had some effect on him. I don't know.
Remember to kiss your babies.
I don't want to point at fingers. Point at fingers.
Point at your fingers.
No, I'm pointing fingers. Not affectionate. He wouldn't even call him by name. He always called him the boy.
What?
Yes.
Ugh.
Oh, that's... Okay, so I do it affectionately, but I do call Ricky, hey, boy, get here.
Yeah,
Come.
yeah, but
Boy.
he knows his name. You call him by his name sometimes.
And I kiss and hug him. Yeah.
Yeah, and like in the parenting book we get when we bring the babies home, it says call them by their name. So.
For a reason to use it.
Yes. So John's father expected him to be absolutely perfect at all times. Very strict, very religious. But it sounded like he had a very good relationship with his mother and that she really doted on him. But to me, it sounded like it was like overdoting.
Yeah.
Overdoting. She was like a germaphobe, so he had to look clean and perfect always, no dirt, no germs. Wouldn't even let John play with the kids, like in the neighborhood or anything, kind of like kept him all to herself. Just, it's really sad. To me, it was like over. It was craziness with the mom thing, which you see a lot with like serial killers, a very unhealthy relationship with the mother. So it seems really dysfunctional. They said that he was a bookworm, so I'm sure he did well socially. Okay. I'm sure things were just fine.
Perfect, yeah.
He graduated high school in 1943 and he joined the service, which he actually did really well in that role because he's a rule follower, right? Okay. He was raised to be perfect, follow the rules, and he was also this way. Yeah. But the people he was in the service with were not a fan of him, and they would say he was a prude and a priss.
Like a teacher's pet. Nobody likes teacher's pets.
That's right. Yeah. You forgot to assign the homework for tonight.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut up, bitch. Yeah. So that's who he is, basically. While he's in the service, his father passes away. He's able to take a quick leave to go to the service, but people said he had no feelings whatsoever. Didn't cry a tear, just didn't even care. And people took note, like, that's a little odd. It's a little odd. Yeah. It's a little odd. In February 1945, he was sent to Europe. And in April, his, I guess, platoon, what you would call it, like a platoon, was captured. Oh. But during that time, the war was basically done. And they were able to actually take them in, the Germans in, as their people captured. And he was able to get the Bronze Star because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
In 1946, he came home to his mother, and he had brought home like this pistol he had gotten in Germany, kind of like a
Souvenir.
A souvenir.
Okay.
A souvenir. A gun.
Yeah.
Gun souvenir. He studied to be an accountant at the University of Michigan. I would have guessed accountant. Okay.
Accountant.
Good choice.
In June 1950, he graduated, and he started working at Ernst & Ernst as an accountant, making $56 a week. And actually, I didn't look up how much money that was, Trey, if you could do that, in 1950. $56 a week. And they said that was really good. I live on $56 a week now. So, samesies. Even though he had this job with Ernst & Ernst, he was, because he was still part of the service, sent to Korea. But he did office work. He didn't see anything like that. And then he got a job in Virginia, helping out in an office, and of course was very active in Lutheran activities in the church there. And in October 1951, he met Helen Taylor at a bowling alley it was a Lutheran get-together.
All right, excellent.
Okay,
so you said in 1956?
1950.
50? Okay, so in $56 is equivalent to the purchasing power of $529 in 2020.
Okay.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just starting out, sure.
Yeah.
So he's like making like $2,100
Sure.
a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
You know what? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. So he went to this bowling event through the church, and he met Helen Taylor, and she was there because her sister had asked her to go get out of the house because her husband, Marvin Taylor, had actually died in Korea 6 months before. And of course, that's awful. She was a 26-year-old widow, and she had a 9-year-old daughter, Brenda. Now, John and Helen moved fast with each other, and John really loved Helen. And he was very worried what his mother would think.
Okay.
Like, because he has a very unhealthy relationship with his mother. So that was the thing he worried about most. What would he think about Helen? So Helen actually came to John and said, I think I'm pregnant. Because they be fucking before they were married. Naughty.
In the 50s?
Naughty.
What?
Yeah.
Yes. And John said, I love you. I want to do the right thing. Rule follower. And on December 1st, 1951, they get married. And then right after they say I do, Helen's like, just kidding, not pregnant.
What a bitch.
What?
Ooh.
Oh, bitch.
Dang.
I'd be like, show me that test. Pee on this stick for me right now.
Damn, Helen. And they said Helen had a very bad spending problem. Out of control. But John was making good money, and that was like the way he showed his love was buying things for her.
Okay.
So
I get it.
Yeah. And so the sister was like, it was kind of like
Match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, or match made in hell, because
Right?
he just gave and gave and gave, right? And she just, it was never enough.
No wonder he felt like I can't.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh.
We're getting to that, bitch.
Damn.
Uh-huh. So, John and Helen are together, and they're married. This was just 8 months after Helen's husband had died. Marvin had died. So very quick, not enough time to heal.
Yeah.
They left her daughter Brenda with her mother just so they could kind of get their married life started. That sounds odd to me, but maybe back then that was more okay. I don't know. They went to San Francisco, and John invited his mother. Helen wasn't a fan of the mother, so that wasn't great. But he felt like the mother should see California, before she got too old and never got to see it. So they did go to San Francisco and had a nice time. and they went to Detroit, where he went back to work at Ernst & Ernst as an accountant, which sounds like a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And they rented a house. Sounds like an amazing job. So John and Helen have their first baby together, Patricia, in January 1955. It is said that John was a very good stepdad to Helen's daughter, Brenda, that he would take her ice fishing and, you know, do outings with her, which that is nice to hear. Yeah. And when Patricia was born, he read a very popular baby book, Dr. Spock at the time.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to be a really good dad.
That's
so
cute.
That is nice to hear.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. He worked for the Sutherland Paper Company as an accountant, and he made $7,200 a year, which was very good. I don't know how much money that is, but in 1955, it sounds like it was very good. They moved to Kalamazoo, Michigan, which is a super fun name to say. Kalamazoo. Helen got pregnant again with John, Jr., I guess, October 21st, 1956. And they were very active in their church. And John was very proud that he was the treasurer at the parish. So he was very active, and he made sure his kids went to church. Mm-hmm. Helen didn't go as much as John. So she would always think of reasons not to go. She just wanted to be in bed. I'm going to stay home and kind of make breakfast. You know, you guys go. But John always took the kids. He showered her in gifts because that is like what would make her happy, spend money on me. Mm-hmm. And John trying to make her as happy as possible.
Did you say $72,000?
No, $7,200 a year.
Oh, okay.
In 1955.
All right. So let me tell you how much that is.
Sure.
In this day and age, that is $69,000.
Okay, so reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So he tried to shower her in gifts, but people said that she was very disrespectful to him, that she drank a lot, and she would call him a goody two-shoes. A goody two-shoes, and that she resented him. She did get pregnant with their last child, Frederick, but she was very sick for this pregnancy and was in bed for most of it. Frederick was born in August 1958, and she had very, very bad postpartum depression. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, after she has the kids, she's drinking a lot. She's taking tranquilizers. She's mixing, which does kind of sound fun, like once a year kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But not like
constantly.
You should try it.
Yeah.
Right. So,
tranquilizers?
Tranquilizers.
They did that.
So
70s or whatever. Like, they did that.
You feeling stressed, girly girl?
Yeah.
You take a tranquilizer, you're going to love it.
Yeah, they did that. My mom, I remember my mom telling me, like, she was feeling like a certain kind of way, and they gave her stuff to fall asleep. And I was like, did they give you a tranquilizer? And she was like, yeah, I think so. Like, it was just this normal thing.
Like, straight up lewds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I would love to do a lewd. I'm going to be honest. If I could, I know that there's one place in the world that still has lewds. I think we should go on a field trip.
I don't even know what that is. What is a
Quaalude?
I don't even know what that is.
It was very popular, like 70s, 80s.
Okay.
To take some lewds, and you just feel like so zoned out.
It's like 70s date rape drug, basically, right?
I don't think so. I think it's more like a strong Xanax, like a super Xanax.
Yeah. All right, gotcha.
That sounds amazing.
Okay.
But then they don't make them here anymore. You can't get them. There's like one place in the world that has them.
Are you going to tell us where this one place is?
I'll look it up. I'm going to Google it.
Okay. All right.
Pack your bags. We're getting some lewds. If you need lewds too, you can come. So John List took care of all the kids. He was kind of doing it all. He was working, trying to keep his wife happy by giving her money all the time, and then also taking care of the kids. So it was a lot. In 1959, they put their first down payment on a home. Now, they did not have any money for this down payment, even though he was making a reasonable amount of money. Mm-hmm. And John's father had owned a general store. And so he went to his mom, Alma, and said, you know, we need this money to buy a house. And Alma, being loving and doting mother to John, said absolutely no problem. They sold this general store and got $20,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and so they gave or she gave John and Helen the money for the down payment for their first home. Helen spent a lot of money, and this is consistent with everyone that knew her. It was a problem that it was never enough, and she liked the best of everything. They said that the baby Freddie had like the best baby equipment and cribs and whatnot, and that he had a very expensive playpen that she would put in the front yard and put Freddie in the playpen unattended for hours.
Oh no!
Well, she went and drank and
did some tranks and
some quaaludes.
Yeah, it's mommy time. It's
With her
mommy
wine.
time. Yeah.
Come back, baby.
She was a kind of a mess. She would leave phone messages at John's work, and coworkers then would have to give these messages to John, which was very embarrassing. The messages would be, "Your son just messed his pants.
What?
And if you want it to be cleaned up, then you better get home and do it." And he would go home.
Poor baby.
And he would go home.
Freddie.
Helen would call his work to constantly complain about him. And people said that she just really couldn't care for the kids. She was just kind of a mess. John wouldn't complain. He would never say anything bad about Helen. The women at the church felt bad for John, and they called Helen and they said, "Look, you maybe we can help in some way. Can we bring maybe food over or clean up or whatever?" And she said, "Stay out of my business." So that ended.
This is her postpartum depression, though, right?
Yeah, and you know what? It sounds
she's
like
fucking
this
crazy. But yeah,
it's just a vicious cycle going
so
on.
it's the
here.
postpartum, it's alcoholism, of course, and just like a gambling or like spending money habit, whatever.
She had a lot of things
she's
going
a wreck.
on. She's a wreck. She would say to John that he wasn't half the man that Marvin was. And that Marvin was a real war hero, not him.
Oh no.
You know, things you shouldn't say.
Yeah.
Her daughter Brenda, right, John's stepdaughter, fell out with Helen. She didn't like her spending. She turned 18 and married her boyfriend and kind of just went and did her own thing to get away.
Like, get out of Dodge right now.
So John spent lavishly on Helen. That was a constant. He was really trying to make her happy. In 1959, he was promoted and he was making $9,300 per year, which is excellent.
That's about $100K.
Yeah.
Probably.
Really good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
The company he was working for, Sutherland, was bought out. Then the new company basically said to him, you know, maybe you should look for other things. They didn't feel like he was management material, and that's what he really wanted, was to be a manager. So the company Xerox, you've heard of Xerox.
Yeah.
What?
They came out and they had some really cool things coming out, and it was just a really great opportunity for him. And he got a job with Xerox, and he had to move to New York for it, and he was making $12,000 a year to start.
Wow.
Which was amazing then.
Yeah.
$12,000. Yeah. So it didn't mean that he was working longer hours, so he couldn't help so much with the kids. So Helen might have to take care of them. Awful. That's terrible. So he was making a lot more money. It was in New York. They said that Helen was actually happier in New York, and they went on their first vacation together. John and Helen went to Europe, and they saw all sorts of places, and they seemed very happy, and that they had to have the best of everything.
Oh.
Okay. So in 1964, he made $25,000, but they never had money. So he was making really good money, but she just spent all the money.
Damn.
So
that's like $207,000 today.
Right. Just always.
Can we make that much money?
I'm gonna try.
There was nothing in the 60s. You know what I mean?
I know. It's just shopping for dresses, tailor-made dresses to look
right. You know,
and a vacuum. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but there's
one vacuum can really set you back. So they were often broke. He really, really wanted a title. He wanted to be a manager. He wanted to be a VP, right? He didn't want to just be an accountant. But they said that he had a really difficult time even just speaking in front of groups of people. So that held him back. Like, he just wasn't social. He wasn't good in that way.
I get that. I don't like speaking in front of people.
So in 1965, he's 40 years old. And Helen is bedridden because she got syphilis from Marvin, her husband before Brenda's dad, because he would go when he was in Korea to brothels.
And she didn't find this out until like 20 years later?
That's how syphilis works.
Syphilis, like, so she's got neurological problems.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it causes shrinkage of the brain tissues. Yes. So with the drinking, the tranquilizers, the syphilis, it makes sense that she's having a tough time here, that she's not thinking clearly at all. So she is bedridden. And John decides to look for a new job. He gets really lucky, and it's a VP position at a bank, and it's $25,000 a year.
Wow.
So it's in Westfield, New Jersey. They bought a home for $50,000. They didn't have the down payment, and they had to ask his mom for the money. And the mom said, I will give you the money for the down payment if I can live in the home.
And this is that 19-bedroom house?
That's right.
Okay.
Breeze Knoll. That's what it's called. Breeze Knoll. And so Helen wasn't too keen on Alma living with them, but she's like, he's going to be making so much more money that I can spend in a blink of an eye. Sure, you can come live with us. So in 1965, they move in, and all the neighbors said, like, the home really hadn't been taken care of, and it had been empty before they moved in, and they were like super excited that people were like moving in. Maybe they would paint it and update it and make it look nice. And I thought this story was very telling, that they moved in, and the first thing they bought was a very expensive Tiffany chandelier for the hall, and did not paint the outside of the house. It looked like shit. So it's very interesting. It look like shit. I thought that was an interesting story.
We don't care about you.
Right. They said that Helen, they never saw Helen. It seemed like she was always in the house, on the phone, ordering shit from magazines probably. And then the neighbor said that John was very odd, and that he would mow their lawn in a full suit and tie.
That's so awkward.
Could you imagine looking out, seeing a guy in full suit and tie mowing the lawn? You're like, oh my God, these are our neighbors.
Crazy. My neighbor's wife mows the lawn.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of like that girl power.
Yeah, girl power.
Girl, you mow that lawn. Mow it. So they said that they were strict with the kids. They were very strict with the kids. They expected a lot from them, just like a lot had been expected from John, from his father. So a lot of the same thinking was going on there. 1 year after moving into the house, Breeze Knoll, he's fired from his job.
From his $25,000 a year job.
Yes, girl. Yes. So John decided not to tell anyone. He would get dressed and spend days at the train station or the park, just trying to fill in time. And he and his mother actually had like a joint account because she was older and needed help with things. And he was just taking money from her account.
I don't like that.
And he was just telling himself, well, it's just a loan. I'll pay it back when I get a new job. He did get a job at American Photographic. And he was... what was it? It was, like half the salary. So it was quite a pay cut. And again, he didn't even tell anyone that he had been fired. So this is not good. That ended a year later. So things aren't going well for John and with jobs. Helen is hospitalized, right? She's got syphilis. It's affecting her. She's not functioning. Wow. He took a loan out for $4,000 and later took a lien against the house to pay that $4,000 back. And he tried to sell mutual funds. Helen just was constantly complaining about him and would tell people that, there's how bad he was in bed, basically.
Oh my God.
Like, she's a fun chick, right? So he's got a lot in his plate. So Patricia and Fred actually both got a job working together, and were very, very responsible kids. These kids were going to school. Mm-hmm. They were going to work after. They were bringing home paychecks and giving that money to help out their family. So very responsible kids. They were very active in their church. The boys did Boy Scouts. John was on the soccer team. These were very, very good kids. Patricia was in theater. They said that she would learn everyone's lines. She had like this very small part in like her first play at this school, and her parents came and she had to like dance a certain way in the part. And afterward, her mother came around and said, "Oh, I'm so excited for you. Good job." But John just went straight to the car, and they went out to the car, and he was just sitting there behind the wheel with the engine running and didn't say anything because he disapproved of her dancing that way. So it kind of gives you insight, just very strict. Expected a lot. He felt like that was pulling away from the church and from God acting that way. By October 1971, he had 3 mortgages against the house. Okay, so he's in debt. He had taken all of the money from his mother's account.
Yikes.
On October 14th, he applied for a gun permit. You have to give like fingerprints to do that. He actually never ended up going and picking up the permit. So November 5th. Now this is crazy. I have a hard time wrapping my mind around this. On November 5th, he sat down with the children and told them, they are going to die soon. Would you rather be buried or cremated?
Oh my God.
What?
The kids were like, what are you, taken aback by this? And they said that they preferred to be buried. And that they were in shock, and he just got up and walked to his office and closed the door.
Wow.
So crazy. So Patricia goes to her drama teacher, Ed, and says, my dad's going to kill me. My dad said he's going to kill us.
Oh, no.
Right. And she's very upset. And the teacher is trying to calm her down. And he just is kind of like, he's not going to kill you. Nobody's going to kill you. Just trying to calm her down. And she said, look, if he comes and says we're going on a family vacation for a while, we won't be here for a while, that means he's killed us.
Right.
Like, that's what's happened.
Damn.
Yep. And the teacher always said that has haunted him, that he's regretted not doing
bet.
So.
I mean, what could he have done? Nothing.
Oh, of course. But those things are things that stay with you.
But I bet he wonders, like, what if I would have said something? Always. Oh, my gosh.
On Tuesday, November 9th, John got up at 5:45 a.m. to prepare for his day. He read all of his newspapers and decided, seeing all the news stories, that this world has really gone to hell. He packed his suitcase and passport. At 8 a.m., the kids came downstairs. They ate their breakfast, and by 8:30, they had gone to school. He pulled out 2 pistols, and one of those pistols was the one he had brought home from war all those years earlier, and they held 8 rounds each. The milkman arrived, and usually Helen would leave a note on the fridge of things that she needed. Instead, there was a note from John saying, we don't need anything for a while. We're going on vacation. No more deliveries.
Oh.
Okay. So around 8:30, 9 o'clock, Helen came downstairs to make her breakfast. She puts the kettle on and everything. She's sitting on the table. John comes behind her, and she turns a little bit, and he shoots her in the jaw and then in the head.
Oh.
He drags her to the ballroom and puts her on a sleeping bag. He then puts like a towel over her face and then over her body. Okay, so then he goes up to the 3rd floor where his mother, Alma, is. And she's making her breakfast. She's waiting for her toast to pop up. And she's like surprised to see him. He walks in and shoots her point blank in the head. And she dies.
Oh.
He soon realizes he can't move her body. He's not strong enough to. So he's able to like get her on like a plastic piece in the hallway, and that's where she's found later. He wasn't able to get her down. He then showered and changed his clothes because, of course, he has to look tidy and clean. But then he said he threw up. He called the branch manager where he worked to cancel the meeting. He said that he had to leave to take care of Helen's mother and that they wouldn't be there for a while. He apologized not being able to make this meeting.
Oh, wow.
He wrote out notes to the kids' schools explaining that they'd be gone, helping take care of this sick mother in North Carolina, and that they would be gone for a while. He then went outside and raked the leaves.
Psycho. I mean, come on.
Oh my God.
After raking the leaves, he came inside and made himself a sandwich and ate it while his wife and mother are dead in the house. And just think about that.
That's really sick.
Mm-hmm. So, Patricia was supposed to go to work after school, but she wasn't feeling well. Mm-hmm. And she called her father to come get her. And he was at first like kind of pissed. Mm-hmm. But then he thought, oh, well, this is better because now her and Fred won't be together. Then she'll just be by herself. Mm. So he went and he picked her up, brought her home. He made sure to get in the house before she did because she had to grab her books from the car. And so he waited behind a door as she walked in. He shot her in the back of the head and killed her. He also put her on a sleeping bag in the ballroom.
This is so sad.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So then he washed and changed his clothes.
Oh, come on.
Again. He went to the bank and cashed a check for $85, and in that count, $24 was left. That was it. He sent himself a letter with a key to his desk that would come to the house later on after he was gone. He put a stop to all mail coming to the house. He cashed a check for $200 against his mom's account, which was already like in insufficient funds.
Yeah,
it was
overdrawn.
Mm-hmm. He went to a safety deposit box where he had some savings bonds. He cashed those out for $2,000. He signed out of that safety deposit box area at 1:57 p.m. So Fred went to work, but John called Fred at work, and people overheard Fred talking on the phone saying, wait, what's wrong with Patricia? But they never heard anything else. And Fred said, I have to go home. So his dad came and picked him up, walked ahead of him inside the house, went behind a door, and as Fred came in, he shot him in the back of the head.
Oh, wow.
Again, he took him to the ballroom, laid him on a sleeping bag, and covered him with towels. He then went to the school and watched his son play in his soccer game. He drove him home, but he had the gun with him this time. He didn't wait until he got inside. He was behind John as they walked in, and they called him Johnny. And he shot Johnny, and he was aiming for the head, but it actually hit him in his back. And Johnny turned around and wasn't going to go down with a fight.
Oh, wow.
He ended up shooting him 10 times.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
He took his body into the ballroom, laid him on a sleeping bag, covered him with towels, and then he said a prayer over their bodies and turn off the lights and turn on the music.
Oh, God.
At 7 p.m., he called the pastor. He said, I'm so sorry. I can't help with Sunday school. I'll be leaving to North Carolina to help with my wife's sick mother. He then called the drama department and said Patricia would be missing rehearsals because they would all be leaving to go to North Carolina.
Oh, this is that teacher that was like, oh, no.
The teacher didn't take the call. It was an assistant that took the call.
Oh, no.
He then, of course, made himself dinner, did the dishes. And then before leaving, he put the thermostat down below 50 degrees. So they said not cold enough to, like, hurt the pipes in the house because they live in a cold area, but cold enough to, like, slow down the decomp process. He put all the lights on in the house. The music is playing, and he left out the back door. He drove downtown in the dark. He said it was quiet. He left absence excuses underneath the door of the kids' workplace saying, we're going out of town. We're taking care of it. Yep. They won't be back. He drove to JFK Airport. He parked in long-term parking. He put the keys underneath the seat, locked it, and walked away. 28 days later, the bodies were found.
Oh,
wow.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So the car was found 2 days after the bodies were found. FBI was called. They didn't know if he had skipped the country. He had his passport, but it hadn't gone through the airport that he had used his passport, so they didn't know what or where he was. So it was a dead end. This was a media frenzy. People were talking about this. Father killing this whole family in this way, right? Because this was like a normal family, right? And he wrote out all like the funeral arrangements saying that the kids wanted to be buried because he had asked them,
right?
Sure, he had asked them, but there was really no money for funeral costs, and they were all buried in a single plot.
Yeah,
it was so sad. He got a ticket to Colorado, and he took the name of somebody he had gone to college with, Robert Clark. And Robert Clark doesn't even remember John List.
Oh.
Like, John List was like a nobody.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
But he stole his name, Robert Clark. He bought a trailer in a trailer park for $1,500 cash. No questions asked. And he said that he read the newspaper every day to see if anything came up about Sister. That's right. That's correct. On December 10th, that's when he read that they had found the bodies and the family and everything. So Bob Clark now, or John List, worked at restaurants as a kitchen and then had become a kitchen assistant. He became very close with the manager and got a job at a country club. He worked there for 3 years. They didn't do a background check because his manager from one place just took him to another one. So he was able to get jobs. He helped run businesses. The manager found out that he used to be an accountant, and then he helped him do that for his business. And of course, he joined the local Lutheran church and was helping at church. And he helped with the church finances, which I'm sure he was great at. And then he met Dolores Miller. So John List met Dolores Miller. He told her he was 46. He was actually 51, so he's a dirty, dirty liar. He said his wife died of cancer, so he was a widower. He was a widower, but he murdered her, so there's a difference. Okay. He became a certified tax preparer, and he did books for a corporate company. In 1979, he was an office manager, and he was getting $300 a week. In 1981, they bought a condo together, which is a big step in a couple's journey. So actually, Dolores lived in the condo, and he actually lived somewhere else just because of work situations. In 1985, they got married in Maryland. But then 5 months later, he was laid off and things weren't well because she was having to take care of everything financial. And she was thinking about leaving him in 1986 because he just wasn't able to contribute financially at that time.
Okay.
In 1987, Dolores had a neighbor, Wanda, who seems like someone I would be friends with, just kind of like gossipy and nosy and just wants to be in the mix. And she was at a checkout line and she saw a magazine, and it was like one of those, like, you know, they see Bigfoot type magazines, right? And she's right. So then she's like looking through it, and it's talking about the murder of the List family. And she sees a picture and she's like, looks like Bob Clark, right?
Oh, shit.
And they made this whole list about him. Like, he's polite, he's Lutheran, he always dresses in a suit and tie, he was an accountant, he has a scar behind his ear, like all of these things. And she was like, oh, that's like Bob. That's like, oh, damn, this Bob. Oh, my God. Like, she's like, oh, shit, right? So she goes to her friends, and I'm sure this was hard for her. And she went to Dolores and she said, does this look like Bob to you? And Dolores just laughed. She's like, there's no way. He's the nicest guy ever. He would have never done something like this. And Wanda said, Dolores, girl, let's be real. You need to talk to your man, see if this is him,
No,
right?
no.
Or like you're next,
right?
Can you imagine?
And Dolores
Ooh.
is like, yeah, I'll show it to him later.
Oh.
Right?
No.
So the next day, Wanda sees Dolores and goes, hey, girl, did you talk to Bob? And she goes, about what? And she's like, about that story that it looks like, oh, that's so stupid. I just threw it away.
Oh, no.
She didn't even bring it up with him. Mm-hmm. So then he got a job in Virginia. So they went to Virginia.
All right.
Oh, you can hear my paper notes. They put a down payment in Virginia, and that's where they were living. And then America's Most Wanted was a big ass show. Did you guys watch America's Most Wanted?
Yes.
Hell yeah. We all wanted to see somebody on there that we knew so we could call in for a goddamn tip.
Have I seen that guy?
I know him.
I think I saw him at
absolutely.
Target.
Yes. And on the Forensic File episode, they had John Walsh on there talking about the show. It was just the best. Everyone had to watch America's Most Wanted. And they were able to get the story on there, which I think is fabulous. But they were like, this is a 20-year-old story, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of like my favorite part. They find this artist, Frank Bender, to do a forensic sculpture or bust of what he thinks John List would look like at that age.
Okay.
And so he does like a full like psychological makeup with this other person, and they're like piecing it together, and he looks at like photos of people in his family and tries to like figure out like, well, maybe he looks like his father in this way, or his mother then would be this way.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Wow.
Him putting this whole bust together. Now here's my favorite part. I just get chills. So he puts this whole bust together, but he's like, I'm sure he's wearing glasses, but what kind of glasses would he be wearing, right? So he goes through like just a million glasses, and he picks them out. He's like, these kind of look like what he would wear, right? And so they put this bust on America's Most Wanted. This is what they think John List looks like now after all these years. Boom, they get a tip. I got a tip. That's him. It's Bob Clark, right?
Was it from Wanda?
It was from a neighbor.
We like you, Wanda.
This is just crazy. So the FBI went to the house, and Dolores said, like, Bob's not home. And they're like, well, can we ask you some questions? And Dolores is like, look, he's like the nicest guy in the world. He would never do anything like this. They went to Bob's work, and they saw him like just coming down the hallway, and they said, are you Bob Clark? And he said, yes. He's like, but are you really John List? And he said, no, I'm Bob Clark. He's like, okay, well, why don't you just come on down to the station, do some fun fingerprints, and we'll see about that. He never once asked why. And they said, everyone always asks, like, why is this happening? He never asked.
It's like, yeah, I killed my whole family. I know why.
Wow. That's right. He went in, he did fingerprints, and it was John List, and had been caught after 18 years.
Holy crap.
Here's the craziest part. They're arresting him, and there's a picture of him next to the bust. He's wearing the exact same glasses that this artist picked out for him.
That's so
wow.
great.
It was perfect. This bust is perfect. We have to find a picture.
Okay.
It gives me chills.
Yeah.
So my daughter, who's an artist, wants to do like forensic pictures for police departments. And this is kind of the same.
Yeah.
I just thought this guy, Frank Bender, perfection.
Yeah.
Good job.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he pled not guilty, of course, sure. He was charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder. Guess what? He guilty.
Yeah.
He guilty. He served 19 years in prison for the killing of his entire fucking family. He died March 21st, 2008 at the age of 82 in prison. Wow. And I have to really give it up. Once Upon a Crime did a fabulous job in the story. Forensic Files, America's Most Wanted, Frank Bender. Good job.
Yay!
Wow. That's the story of John List. Look it up.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I'm so glad. Wow, that's a great story. All right,
so it's the badass story of the week. Woo! Such a badass.
All right, so I'm sitting in Costco, you guys, and and I was just thinking, like, we do all these badass stories about people and stuff, but, like, I wanted to bring a little bit of light onto the corporations that do stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
So I know that Costco kind of gives back. They're amazing to work for. Ricky was like, can I work for Costco?
Oh, yeah.
Right? I wanted to do that. So I researched a little bit and I said, Costco's great and everything, but everybody knows about Costco. Mm-hmm. So I want to do something a little bit different and a little bit true crimey too. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I want to talk about Operation Underground Railroad.
Ooh.
How cool is that, right?
Let's do it.
Their mission is to rescue children from sex trafficking.
Wow.
Cool. This is like running rampant in our world right now. Mm-hmm. It's really, really sad. You have to go to their website. It's my.ourrescue.org.
Okay.
So they are a nonprofit organization and they go through coordinated rescue efforts as well as recovery planning. So I'm guessing like they're busting on these people, right? They're finding kids. It's not something small. It's huge.
Right.
Each effort that they do costs thousands of dollars. Wow. They're looking at getting help from like the military and from like local law enforcement, and they're going into countries that are doing these awful, awful things to these poor babies, right? So they were founded 5 years ago. And since that time, they've rescued 2,603 victims. Wow. And played a role in the arrest of over 1,000 traffickers across the globe.
Oh, my God.
So we all know there's a rise in all of this in all 50 states. Mm-hmm. It's actually slated to surpass the sale of drugs in the next few years.
What?
Yes. That's incredible.
Oh, my God.
So think that through. It's slated to surpass the sale of illegal drugs in the next few years. Crazy. So when you think of a child's body being this big commodity versus a little itty bitty pill,
right? Sure,
and it's slated to surpass that. So that's just insane. So they are known as OUR. The mission is more important than ever. So they are accepting donations, and they use those donations to fund rescue missions and technology. So again, that website is my.ourrescue.org. I just thought with true crime and everything, and we hear about it all the time, and it's the scariest shit ever. People come up missing all the time. Who knows where they're taken from, where they're sent to. It's so scary. So if you have extra money, not only visit our Patreon, but please go to this website and donate. You can do monthly donations or you can do a one-time donation, but that money is
that's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible.
You're saving children.
Right.
What's better than that? I mean, give me a break. Thank you so much. That is a badass story of the week.
Yay, great.
Everyone can be a badass today by checking out our Instagram, our Facebook, our Twitter, our website, handcuffsandsagepodcast.com.
Yes. And there's some little fancy tricks I put into there. So,
it's fancy.
You guys need to. You got to check out our website.
I have attached our very first super fucked episode on there.
Oh my God. We used to be super fucked. We're now Handcuffs and Sage.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. It's not two different podcasts.
But it's our very first episode ever that we did, and we sound great. So check that out. It's under the episodes tab. And then go over to iTunes and rate us and subscribe and leave us a comment so that we can get where we want to get to.
Yeah.
And we need your help. Please be a badass today and support us on our Patreon. You get goodies when you support us, and we need equipment and things like this. It would really, really help us out. And send us your true crime and ghost stories to our email at handcuffsandsage@gmail.com.
Right.
And if you're a badass, send us your badass story too.
Yeah.
I like survivor stories. You're a survivor. I want to hear it.
Yeah,
all about
for sure.
Eek. Okay, we got through this. It was sad. It was scary. It was crazy.
Yep.
And then there was a badass.
Yep, that's right.
Yay. Okay, remember,
we do what we want.
Woo! All day, every day.
Bye. Love you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay, so I have been waiting all night to fucking hear this story. So, Red, what are we doing?
Okay, So I was thinking February is the month of love.
Okay.
So of course I'm gonna do killer couples this month.
Oh, jeez. Oh my God. Okay.
And this is a very famous one from our friends in Canada, eh?
Oh.
We have a Canada couple.
Okay.
And I think they're the fucking worst. That's
Really?
my own personal opinion. So we're gonna start off February with killer couples, Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka.
No clue.
Okay, so we're having a Robert moment where
Isn't that great? I love it. I love it. Yes.
I have chicken wing grease and dust all over my notes, so don't judge me. Ooh, I'm so excited.
Okay.
I'm so excited. Okay, let me have a drink of my seltzer vodka. On August 27th, 1964, a light blonde-haired baby, Paul Bernardo, is born to Kenneth and Marilyn Bernardo. I hate the name Bernardo. I just want to start off saying it sounds annoying. Bernardo.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why it bothers me. Every time I hear it, it bothers me.
Bernardo.
Maybe it's because he's a terrible person.
Back, let me just tell you a story real quick. Back in the day when I waitressed, there was this little Mexican dude. He was a what do you call him? Where they clean the tables for you. A busser.
Mm-hmm. What is a busser?
And oh my God, he was such a sweetheart. I loved him so much, and his name was Bernardo.
Oh,
and he would do anything for me.
Bad.
I know he would do anything for me. I'm like, oh, Bernardo, can you da-da-da-da-da? He was, and like, this was this type of restaurant where it was up to your discretion to tip your bussers.
Oh.
And I would only,
that's interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't like a set, like you whatever. So I would always give him extra.
Absolutely.
Because he was such a sweet man.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I waitressed when I was pregnant all 9 months with my second child.
Are you kidding me?
We were poor. Remember?
Dang,
we were
girl.
poor. And you know how we ate dinner every night? Is they let us take one free meal home and we would share it. We were poor. And I always tipped my bussers. Always.
Good girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Karma. So I forgot to mention, fun fact.
Okay.
This killer couple, their nickname are the Ken and Barbie
Nice.
Murders.
Yes. I still haven't heard of it, but I'm loving it. Okay.
Let me give a shout out to Morbid Podcast. Fucking bomb ass. I'm really thoroughly enjoying this podcast.
Okay,
yes.
Cool.
Shout out to Morbid.
Yay.
I loved what they did on this. So I got information from them. There bunch of documentaries, YouTube videos, old videos on there that you can see from this time. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Morbid. I thought that they did a really great job. Okay. And they were really funny.
Cool.
Good job, Morbid.
Yay, Morbid.
Okay. So back to Paul Bernardo. He was born August 27th, 1964 to Kenneth and Marilyn Bernardo. Do you like my next note? It says Kenneth was an awful human being. Nice. So Kenneth actually was an awful human being. This was Paul's father. He was a pedophile, a molester, a peeping Tom. He abused Marilyn and his sister. He was just an awful person to live with.
Gross.
I feel really bad for their family, and it isn't shocking that things happen the way that they happen because this is his father. Marilyn suffered from depression. Of course she did. Her husband was a petty. And she actually moved herself down to live in the basement away from the family.
Ew.
Oh, so fucked up.
Dang.
So at 16, Paul finds out that Kenneth is not his biological father. And you would think like, oh, yay, I'm not a pedophile father.
Cool. Right.
No, he was like super fucking pissed. He found out his mom had an affair and got pregnant.
Scandalous.
Yes, super scandalous. So Kenneth had this whole thing, and Paul then had this thing of hating women.
Okay.
And so I think that Paul just blamed his mom, like thought of her as a whore, like just hated her. And I think it was because of the way that the father treated her. And then he finds out that she did this.
Okay.
So it all like, there was a culmination here.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. So on May 4th, 1970, Carla Homolka, or Barbie, is born in Ontario, Canada. Her parents were Dorothy and Carol Homolka. Carol was a traveling salesman, which I always thought the thought of it being a traveling salesman. Like you go different places and all this
strange
stuff. I am a weirdo. But he did have a drinking problem. He was a Czech immigrant, but he was verbally abusive to his family. So maybe if he was a traveling salesman, it was good that he wasn't home all the time.
He just came home and took it out on the family.
Yeah, so we have these two children being born in two very dysfunctional homes, which is sad.
Yeah.
I come from a very dysfunctional home, but I, don't hook up with people and then do all sorts of awful things. I mean, some awful things, but not like killing people.
Gotcha.
Sure.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, Carla, I'm going to take my slippers off. Ugh. Carla has two sisters, Lori and Tammy. Fun little story. Carla's mom, this isn't really fun, it's really fucked up. Carla's mom once found out that her husband was having an affair, had a mistress, and she thought the best way to deal with that was to obviously have a threesome with the husband and the mistress. Now, I know I may be old-fashioned.
Oh my!
But I am all about the slashing the tires, the bleaching of the clothes, Instagram and Facebook posts. She had a threesome, so we just did it differently. We just do it differently.
Yikes.
Sure, yeah. So people said that Paul was charming, very social. He was very good looking. He did look like Ken. He really did.
Really?
Yes, very attractive. I'll show you pictures.
Okay.
He had girlfriends in college, but he wouldn't have these girlfriends very long because he said that he had these really dark sexual fantasies. He would really take it up a notch, not like normal stuff or like there's some spanking and stuff like that. It was very violent. And then he would say, "Don't you tell anyone that I do these things." Yeah. And then it wouldn't work out and they would break up. What are you doing?
Nothing.
And that's it. Yay! Oh my God, what are you doing?
I'm trying to record some moments.
Okay. So that would usually end up in things not working out. They weren't into being violently tortured.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
They weren't happily in the red room.
They're like, this guy's fucking drop dead gorgeous, but he is a fucking weirdo.
Yeah. Okay, let me show you a picture because I really feel like that would. Will you pull up a picture?
Okay.
There's a very famous one.
Yeah.
Show it to her. It's amazing.
Bernard.
We can even talk about it. It's going to be great. So, Paul was very charming, and he got a sales job with Amway after high school, and then he also at the same time went to school to become an accountant. Those accountants, man. Those violent ass motherfuckers. Right, Timo?
Right.
That's right.
He is a handsome fool.
Look at him. Look
that
at him.
one right there with the
Yeah.
Woo.
No, you have to find the one of them together.
Okay, I'll look.
That one, you're like, oh, okay.
What's her name again?
Carla Homolka.
He's kind of reminding me a little bit of Lucas
Magnotta.
Yeah.
There is a weird tie with that person.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Crazy that you're bringing that up.
Okay.
Girl. I guess we'll pull it together at some point.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Oh, my gosh. So, Carla, they said, was very outgoing. She was popular. She really reminds me of my daughter in that she was very independent. It was going to be her way or the highway with people.
Okay.
There's not such a cute story where she once made a parachute for a friend's hamster and they threw the hamster out the window.
What?
The hamster did not survive.
Oh,
and a couple weeks later she dug up the little hamster body to see what it would look like and stuff.
What?
Oh.
I wonder if it means anything to come. We'll see.
Oh,
we'll see.
Yeah, it probably does.
Maybe there's some red flags.
Which one are we talking about here?
That one up there in the right corner?
Yeah, no, that one.
This one?
Oh, yes. I've seen this before.
Ken and Barbie get married, and then they like make love and you
Okay.
Like that?
like that.
Okay.
They said that she was actually an animal lover despite this parachute incident.
Gross.
She loved animals and she wanted to be a vet. They did say that she was an alpha. She would run the roost and she was very bossy with her friends. Right. She fought with her parents a lot in high school, which is very typical. We were just talking about this. We all have teenagers.
Right.
It's a real good time.
Yeah.
Just pure bliss.
Yes.
You guys know what I'm talking about. So with Carly, she would have high highs and low lows. So one day she could be like, I can do it all. I'm going to do that. The world's my oyster. And the next day, like she said that she would try to like OD on pills and like I cut my wrist and like I don't want to live anymore.
Bipolar for sure.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Yeah. Okay.
All over the place. So then Carla had a boyfriend in high school named Doug, which is a super sexy name.
I love Doug.
This is my boyfriend, Doug. We're in love. It's been like 2 weeks. It's serious. They did have sex and they did drugs like smoked pot and stuff like that. But they said she had this thing where she like lied and made things like bigger than they were. And she said like they would do like BDSM and shit like that. Like they would have like crazy sex.
Okay.
Okay, Carla. Okay, all right, honey.
Doug's like, no, we didn't.
And Doug's like,
no.
I was there and we didn't do that. Why are you saying that?
Oh my god.
Right.
It's so weird. Okay.
It is weird. But she was trying to make it seem like she was super kinky and fun and cool and all this shit. She was really into the occult. Oh, like you.
Yay!
And Ouija boards. Not like you. Not the same.
No.
Okay.
I'm kind of maybe changing a little bit.
Are you playing with Ouija boards all by yourself?
No, but I think I might, like, if we decide to go to the Padre.
I'm trying my best.
Or the Queen Mary. I'm thinking maybe we should do. Yeah. I just need to learn how to open and close the doors so that nothing crazy happens.
Yeah, let me know how that goes.
Okay.
I don't
read some books. I don't know.
Patty Negretti is that Hollywood witch medium. I might email her. She was the one that, remember when I went to that most haunted thing with Bridget Marquette from,
Yeah.
and then she had us do that.
I do remember that.
That was unforgettable.
Yeah,
I'm trying to forget.
I think because she's the one that said that you can use a Ouija board, but you need to know how to open and close the doors so that whatever. So maybe I'll send her an email. Be like, hey.
Hey, girl, hey.
Hey.
That's all you put in your email.
Hey, Patty.
You knew I was going to contact you.
I might. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really don't want to bring anything home.
Yeah.
In the Queen Mary room, I saw that they do have a Ouija board that they just put in there as part of staying in the room.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they do like tarot cards, Ouija board.
That's really dangerous.
Candles,
like a whole
a crystal ball.
That's
or
really
something.
dangerous that they do that.
And then there's like there's like a YouTube video about like these young girls. I feel like they're teenagers.
Yeah.
And there's like a group of them and they're in there using the Ouija board and stuff. You can look it up on YouTube and it's kind of
good
crazy.
times.
Okay, we'll look it up.
All right. Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
Unless
Robert shows up. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Okay.
Just be nice to him and respect him and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I do what I want, girl. Okay.
So does he.
Oh my god, I got some chicken piece in my
eye.
For sure.
Some chicken paste.
I think it must have been in my hair from me eating the chicken and then it got into my eye.
Oh no.
The diet's going well. Okay. In May 1987, the Scarborough rapist starts his 5-year reign of terror. Have you ever heard of the Scarborough racist?
Racist?
He was racist and he raped at the same time.
The Scarborough racist.
Oh my
He's so
god.
racist. He only raped certain kind of people.
He started with racism and then he went to raping. He was a terrible, terrible person. May 4th was his first victim, who was a 14-year-old girl.
May the 4th be with you. Sorry.
Oh my god. Edit.
Star Wars nerd.
Right. So his first victim was a 14-year-old girl, and this is really awful. She was raped in her parents' front yard at night. Yeah, they just didn't know she was out there. Poor thing. This is awful. On May 14th, which was not long after, another girl was raped in the backyard of her parents' home. So these are girls that have been watched. They know that the rapist knows where they live, which is terrifying. And they're always told, don't you tell anyone. I know where you live and I will come kill you.
Wow.
Terrifying. These are 14 and 15-year-old girls mostly that are being attacked. So July 17th, there was an attempted rape, but she fought like a motherfucker.
Good girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking fight. You fight until the bitter end. September 29th, the rapist broke through the window of a 15-year-old girl. He attempted to rape her, but he was being very violent with her too, and he bit her fucking ear, which is awful. Yes, that kind of gives you an idea. This person is just out of fucking control. The mother busts in because she hears something going on and just starts screaming, right?
What?
You walk in on this shit, you start screaming. He jumps out of the room and he gets away. This motherfucker.
Oh my god.
They say that this rapist was 19-year-old Anthony Mayer, who did 16 months for this attempted rape, but he was later exonerated. Right. He didn't do it, and they pinned it on him.
Okay.
Awful. So, October 17th, 1987. This is when all of it goes down. This is when it happens. When two evils collide.
Okay.
Carla and Paul meet.
Oh shit.
And what's the most romantic place you can meet?
The beach.
At a pet food convention.
What the fuck?
How did you not know it was a pet food convention?
My god.
Hello.
What the fuck? What were they doing there?
Carla was working for a vet, and she was like, oh, free weekend? Okay, I'll go check out the pet food convention for sure.
Oh my god.
She was staying at a hotel. She was in the hotel restaurant with somebody else that she was there with. Paul comes over. They say it's lust at first sight. It's like chemistry and sparks and evil demons doing a little dance. And they said within hours they are up in that hotel room just banging one out.
Really?
Yes. Yes, just together right from the get-go.
Okay.
Just obsessed with each other.
All right.
Kind of like Scott and I, but like not
With
evil.
less evil
demons dancing. Right.
God.
Sure. Carla was 17.
What?
She was fucking 17.
Wait a minute. Her bosses sent her to a fucking convention at 17?
Bitch, it was the 80s.
Oh my god.
Okay, my
All
parents sent me 10 miles away to get milk and come back and not complain. Okay? Okay, it was the 80s. So Carla was 17 and Paul was 23 years old.
All
That's
right.
an age difference,
But
okay?
that's okay. I don't see a problem with that.
I just feel like judging. Okay. So Paul actually lived 2 hours
Okay. What was
from
he doing?
Carla. He lived in Scarborough and she lived in St. Catharines. But he would drive like 3 times a week to go hit up his boo because they could not get enough of each other.
Okay.
All right. So that is a drive. Carla's family loved Paul. Fucking loved him, right? He was going to be an accountant. He's very charismatic. They're all about it, and they did look like Barbie and Ken. So they're like, we're doing something right. Everything's working out. It's going to be great.
All right.
Carla's a bitch, but it's going to be fine.
Okay. I can see that. Okay.
Sure. So then Carla graduates in 1989. They're together, and she's a baby. Okay. So Paul moves in. They do get engaged December 1989. They're basically together for 2 hot goddamn seconds. And he proposes at Niagara Falls because that's where you propose.
Right. Romantic.
And it was just meant to be. True love. May 25th, 1988, a rapist is almost caught at a bus stop because they realized that this rapist would grab women off this bus stop or jump out from bushes, violently attack them, assault them. So they had Metro people, officers, set up, waiting by bus stops. An attack happens. Metro cop is on him, running after him, and he gets away.
What?
So fucking
slow. No
close.
more donuts. I'm just kidding. I'm teasing.
I'm not going to judge, but I don't know. So October 4th, 1988, there was an attempted rape. She fought him off, but she did get stabbed in the thigh and the buttocks, and she needed 12 stitches.
Okay.
And I would like to repeat that these are teenage girls.
Right.
These are teenage girls fighting a fucking rapist.
Oh my God.
Popping out of nowhere. Think about like having something like that happen to you, like functioning after that. Terrifying. Isn't that terrifying?
Yeah, no.
It's terrifying. November 16th, 1988, and you're noticing all these dates are very close to each other. A woman is raped in her parents' backyard. Again, it's happening in their home. They're told, I know where you live. Don't you tell anyone. Just awful. So November 17th, 1988, the Green Ribbon Task Force is formed to take this Scarborough rapist down. We need to figure out the fuck this is. We're going to take it real seriously, A. In Canada, E. We're going to stop the rapist, E. They bring in a profiler, an FBI profiler. His name is Greg McCrary, and he's in these videos you can watch, and he was just part of figuring out what kind of person is doing this. So he said he was, probably in his early 20s, white male, probably lives with family still, maybe is violent in domestic relationships.
Oh, shit.
So just putting shit like that together.
Right.
Okay, so August 1989, a 22-year-old woman is stalked around her home and then raped. May 26, 1990, a 19-year-old girl is raped, but she's able to get a description of her rapist.
Okay.
That's a big deal. Huge.
Okay.
Huge. A sketch is released in Toronto, and there are 16,000 responses.
What?
Wow.
16,000?
Yes. 16,000.
Oh my God.
The needle in a haystack.
3 people called in and said, that looks like Paul. 3 people.
Oh,
that's it.
My God.
That's crazy. If there's ever a sketch that kind of looks like me, why don't you ask first before calling in? Because this fucker had 3 people that knew him that called in.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
That's
going
crazy.
down, Paul.
Yeah.
Can we pause?
Sure.